Good evening and welcome to ICU TV Main News. We take a look at the stories making headlines. Ministry of Health launches 2026 World Cancer Day Commemoration. Ghanaian President arrives in Zambia. Government warns against fake SCT payment messages. In international news, Tanzanian drug trafficker arrested during raid in Zambia. And in our sports news, Moroccan to appeal CAF session over chaotic Afcon final. With the news in details, my name is Ruth Mirongo. The Ministry of Health has launched the 2026 World Cancer Day commemoration in Lusaka under the theme United by Unique, marking a renewed national commitment to the fight against cancer. The event brought together government leaders, health experts, and cancer survivors, highlighting the growing cancer burden, the importance of early detection and scanning, and ongoing efforts to expand access to quality cancer care across the country. ICU TV Precious Banda has more in the following report. Sorry for the inconvenience. Precious Banda has more in the following report.
The Ministry of Health has officially launched the 2026 World Cancer Day commemoration held under the global theme United by Unique, highlighting collective action and recognizing the unique experience with those people affected by cancer. The commemoration is aimed at raising awareness of cancer prevention.
During the event, the guest of honor, Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Elijah J. Muchima, described cancer as one of the Zambians' most health challenge, calling for stronger prevention, early detection, and improved access to quality cancer care. He noted that globally, 1 in 5 people is likely to develop cancer in their lifetime. Locally, Zambia records over 15,000 new cancer cases every year, with more than 9,000 cancer-related deaths. The minister emphasized that though cancer is preventable and treatable when detected early, nearly 60% of those diagnosed do not survive, largely due to late diagnosis. He added that breast and cervical cancer remains among the leading cancers in the country, while childhood cancer continues to pose challenges because of delayed detection.
Ladies and gentlemen, the statistics remain sobering call to action. Globally, in one in 5 people develop cancer in their lifetime. Here at home, the burden is heavy. Zambia now records over 15,000 new cancer cases annually. Tragically, more than 9,000 of our brothers, sisters, and children lose their lives to this disease every year. A mortality rate of approximately 60%. Cervical cancer remains our fiercest opponent with 3,600 new cases annually. Despite being preventable, 60% of those diagnosed do not survive. Prostate cancer is the leading cancer among Zambian men, with over 1,600 new cases yearly.
Dr. Muchima further highlighted government's efforts to decentralize cancer services, citing the Ndola Cancer Center as a key milestone aimed at expanding specialized treatment beyond Lusaka and improving access to care across the country. Meanwhile, cancer survivors used the platform to reinforce the call for early screening and timely treatment. Cervical cancer survivor Helen urged women and girls to come out in numbers for screening and encouraged parents to vaccinate children aged 9 to 14 years against the human papillomavirus, dismissing myths surrounding the vaccination.
It started with an abnormal bleeding. I started bleeding abnormally from 2022 to 2023. I decided to go to the hospital where they did a biopsy. The results came out and it confirmed that I was in stage 2 cervical cancer. I was devastated, I was broken, I didn't know where to pick up the pieces from. But from there, I got treatment, so I did chemo, hence the chemo, the brain fog, which makes a patient constantly forget. Like in the middle of maybe a speech like this, I'll forget exactly what I want to say. But all in all, I got treated, and yeah, here I am. I'm strong, fit, and okay. But what I would want exactly to urge the women and girls out there.
The President of Ghana has arrived in Zambia for an official visit. Ghanaian President Ghanaian President John Dramani Mahama arrived in the country on Wednesday, February 4th, 2026, through the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport in Lusaka. President Mahama was received and accompanied by President Hakainde Hichilema upon arrival, highlighting the strong diplomatic ties between Zambia and Ghana. The visit is expected to focus on strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries, with discussion anticipated in areas such as trade, economic cooperation, and regional development. Senior government officials and members of the diplomatic corps were present at the airport to welcome the Ghanaian head of state. President Mahama is scheduled to take part in the series of official engagements during his stay in Zambia. Speaker of the National Assembly Nelly Muti has urged members of the parliament to conduct themselves with dignity and order ahead of an address by Ghanaian President Mahama Mudu, scheduled for Thursday, 5th February 2026. Ms. Muti made the appeal today during the communication forum from the Speaker as Parliament resumed sitting, stressing that the occasion represents a significant diplomatic moment for both the House and the country. She reminded lawmakers that the presence of the foreign head of state demands the highest standard and parliamentary conduct. Meanwhile, the Speaker also called on members of Parliament to ensure the constituency development funds constituency office projects are completed within the year, emphasizing accountability and timely implementation on development programs. In addition, Ms. Muti urged lawmakers to fully support and implement the Presidential Constituency Energy Initiative, which seeks to establish small-scale solar power plants across the country. She explains that the initiative targets the development of the solar facility capable of generating up to 2 megawatts of electricity per constituency, a move aimed at improving power supply in all districts while creating a sustainable income stream at constituency level. The Ministry of Community Development and Social Service says it has noted with serious concern the growing numbers of fraudulent messages targeting SCT beneficiaries with the aim of stealing personal information and money from unsuspecting members of the public. The minister has clarified that all officials' SCT payment announcements are communicated strictly through recognized government channels and approved payment service providers. Beneficiaries have been cautioned to treat any message from unknown or an official source as scam and report them immediately to the ministry or the nearest district social welfare office. The ministry has warned rather, the ministry has warned to distinct from defiling poor and unavailable citizens, stating that such acts are criminal, unethical, and poor and unethical. We take our first break. Coming up is our local stories.
Welcome to Zambia, a land of breathtaking natural wonders and diverse cultures, home to the Victoria Falls, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Zambia boasts a rich cultural heritage, captivating wildlife, and a promising future. Zambia is a nation rich in both history and modernity. In the heart of Zambia lies Lusaka, the capital and largest city located in the southern part of the Central Plateau. Lusaka is one of the fastest developing cities in southern Africa. With a population of about 3.3 million, Lusaka is a center of both commercial and government in Zambia and connects to the country's 4 main highways, heading north, south, east, and west. Lusaka has several cultural facilities such as museums and galleries, which include Lusaka National Museum and Henry Tayali Gallery.
Welcome back. Zambia has reaffirmed its commitment to advancing exclusive social development and social justice through coordinated and equitable policies at the United Nations. Speaking at the 64th session of the Commission for Social Development at the United Nations headquarters in New York, the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services Permanent Secretary Angel Kawadami emphasized Zambia's resolve to promote social justice and inclusive development. Delivering Zambia's national status on Thursday, Ms. Kawandami said the country's social policies are echoed in the principle of declaration and the Doha Political Declaration, while aligning with the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and African Union Agenda 2063.
Zambia aligns itself with the core vision of this session and with the position of the African Group that social development and social justice are foundational to sustainable development for all. We reaffirm the principle of leaving no one behind at the heart of the 2030 Agenda and the AU Agenda 2063, and recognize that equitable access to opportunities, quality services, decent work, and comprehensive social protection is central to human dignity, social cohesion, and resilience. Distinguished delegates, Zambia has undertaken deliberate and systematic policy actions to advance social equity, inclusion, and poverty reduction. These efforts are anchored in the mainstreaming of social development priorities across national planning frameworks, including Vision 2030 and successive national development plans with a strong focus on human capital development and reducing structural inequalities. In this regard, Zambia has strengthened child protection systems through expanded social assistance, improved access to education and health services, and targeted interventions for vulnerable and at-risk children. These measures contribute to breaking intergenerational poverty and safeguarding the rights and well-being of children. In addition, Zambia has taken important steps to promote dignity, income security, and social inclusion in old age through the expansion of social assistance and community-based support systems consistent with commitments to solidarity and intergenerational justice. Further, recognizing that youth employment and empowerment are central to sustainable social development, Zambia has invested in skills development, technical and vocational education, and entrepreneurship initiatives to address unemployment and precarious work, including in the informal sector. Zambia has also strengthened interministerial coordination to ensure that social development considerations are effectively mainstreamed into economic, infrastructure, and sectoral planning. Our social protection programs continue to expand in coverage and effectiveness, supporting poverty eradication, shock responsiveness, and productive inclusion, particularly for women, youth, and persons with disabilities. Zambia further recognizes that equitable and inclusive
The Tobacco Board of Zambia has launched a nationwide tobacco grower validation and verification exercise ahead of the 2026 tobacco marketing session. The exercise, which began on Wednesday, February 1st, 2026, will run for a period of 2 weeks and will be conducted across all tobacco producing areas in the country. According to the Tobacco Board of Zambia, the initiative is aimed at verifying registered tobacco growers, validating tobacco field, and collecting key production data in preparation of the upcoming marketing season. The process will be carried out jointly with industry stakeholders at field level. All all self-contracted growers will undergo a 100% validation, while between 20 and 50% of contracted growers will be validated based on risk, performing, and regional operation consideration. The exercise will include the exercise will include physical verification on growers' field, plant population, tobacco variety, and the collection of crop performance data. TBZ has since called on sponsoring merchants, tobacco growers association, and other stakeholders to ensure their technical and field officers' activity participate in the exercise. The board says the initiative is expected to contribute to the sustainable growth and development of Zambia's tobacco industry, benefiting farmers, industry players, and the national economy. Police in Lusaka have recorded a warn and caution statement from Ruth Mwanza, a 44-year-old woman facing a murder investigation following the death of her neighbor Maureen Mwamba. The incident occurred on December 30th, 2025 in Twin Palm area. Mwanza reportedly left her home around 5 p.m. with her two children and returned at approximately 10 p.m. only to find her house locked. Upon forcing the door open, she allegedly discovered her husband in the company of Mamba inside their maternity home. According to police, Mwanza then forcefully dragged the victim outside and assaulted her. Mamba was initially treated at the local clinic before being referred to Mainasoko Medical Center, where she was admitted to the intensive care unit and placed on life support. Zambian Police Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilaba revealed that she sadly passed away in the early hours of January 31st, 2026. A post-mortem examination was conducted on February 3rd, 2026 as part of ongoing investigation. Mwanza remains in police custody as investigation continues with formal charges expected to follow. The Zambian Police Service has assured the public that further updates will be provided in due course. We continue with the news. Some residents in Lusaka's Ibex area have been left shocked following the discovery of what is believed to be human scale. The suspected scale was discovered on Monday, February 2nd, 2026, near the Dream Valley area by plastic scavengers who were operating in the vicinity. One of the residents, Grace Buku, revealed that the skull was wrapped in a black plastic bag and had been left along the roadside. Police are yet to issue a detailed statement as investigation into the matter continues.
Welcome to the Zambia Research and Development Center, an institution dedicated to national development through capacity building and community development. Established in 2007 by a group of professionals and lecturers, ZRDC has since become a hub of research and innovation in the country. Registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs under the Registrar of Societies, ZRDC pursues cutting-edge research to address pressing social and economic challenges. Get involved. ZRDC engages in activities that stimulate international collaboration, promote knowledge sharing, and make research expertise available to decision makers. Our mission at ZRDC is to foster innovation and capacity building for national development. We believe in addressing poverty and underdevelopment through institutional and capacity building, human empowerment, and gender participation. In our quest to foster innovation and capacity building for national development, ZRDC launched the ZRDC University Sponsorship for Capacity Building and Development Program to facilitate knowledge advancement among ZRDC researchers and those intending to join the research community. Qualified Zambian citizens can pursue education at credible universities in Zambia with guaranteed prospects of joining the ZRDC research community. ZRDC engages in industrial and technological research, covering research development and innovative investigations to drive dynamic industrial development at national and regional levels. Join us at the Zambia Research and Development Center as we continue to innovate.
Welcome back, and now in our international news, South African Democratic Alliance leader John Steenhuisen has said he will not seek re-elections as a party leader in April, a move that may threaten the stability and coalition government. The DA, South Africa's second largest party, entered into the coalition with its anchor rival, the African National Congress, in 2024 after the ANC lost its parliamentary majority. Steenhuisen took over leadership on the pro-business DA in 2019 and currently serves as Agriculture Minister in President Cyril Ramaphosa's government. The 49-year-old was widely expected to run again, but was reportedly forced to abandon his bid because of several controversies. Steenhuisen began his political career aged 22 when he was elected to the council of the port city of Durban in the Democratic Party and the DA predecessor. He rose up through the party local and then regional leadership before becoming leader of the party, which traditionally has a wide support base 2 decades later. It was widely reported that Steenhuisen, who ran unopposed for the leadership at the DA's upcoming conference. Still in our international news, a notorious Tanzanian drug trafficker kingpin has been arrested in Zambia during a raid the Zambian Drug Enforcement Commission has announced. Ahmed Muharram was among several suspects detained in Zambia's capital Lusaka, among with large quantity of marijuana and cough syrup containing codeine in several drugs posts on Tuesday, the authority says. The deck said that the suspect is known transition in drug trafficking, adding that the 40-year-old had long been on the anti-drug agency watch list. The arrest of Maharam, who has not yet committed, was made possible thanks to the series of intelligence lead operation. Under Zambian law, marijuana is classed as a dangerous drug and is illegal to possess rather. The trafficking, possession, and use of legal drugs such as cannabis and is punishable by a fine or a prison statement. The Southern African countries' strategies with drug abuse and trafficking, especially cannabis and heroin. We'll take a short break. Coming up is sports news.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359.
Welcome back, and now in our sports news. The Royal Moroccan Football Federation has launched an appeal against sanctions handed down by the Confederation of African Football (CAF) over chaos that marred the African Cup of Nations final against Senegal on January 18, 2026. Our reporter Stephen Mape has more in the following.
The 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, hosted by Morocco, concluded on January 18, 2026, which saw Senegal emerging victorious against the host. The tournament, which featured 24 teams divided into 6 groups, saw the host Morocco being beaten at their home ground by Senegal.
The Royal Moroccan Football Federation has launched an appeal against sanctions handed down by the Confederation of African Football over the chaos that mirrored the Africa Cup of Nations final against Senegal on January 18, 2026. The CAF disciplinary board had imposed fines and suspensions on both teams, including a 5-match ban for Senegal coach Papa Bonachio and suspensions for players Iliman Ndiaye and Ismail Sarr. Morocco's Akraf Hakimi and Ismail Saibari also received bans.
The match was marred by controversy after Morocco was awarded a penalty in the dying minutes of the game after the VAR check revealed to say Ibrahim Diaz was fouled inside the box. In protest, Senegalese coach Papi Dio instructed his players to abandon the game, which resulted in a 16-minute pause. However, thanks to the leadership of Senegalese captain Sadio Mane, the team returned to the pitch and Brahim Diaz took the penalty, which was later saved by Edouard Mendy. The game later on continued in extra time, where Senegalese midfielder Papa Gueye scored a decisive goal that proved to be a difference in that match, and Senegal emerged victorious as champions of Africa.
The Federation claims the penalties don't match the gravity of incidents that included pitch invasions and violence and have filed an official appeal. In a statement, the FRMF said the sanctions are not proportionate to the seriousness and gravity of these events. Senegal was fined $615,000, while Morocco was also fined $315,000. The Confederation of African Football dismissed Morocco's initial protest, but the Moroccan FA is pushing forward, seeking a review of the decisions.
Stephen Chisengamwape reporting for ICU TV Sports in Lusaka.
Item bring us to the end of our main news, but before we go, let's take a look at the stories that made headlines. Ministry of Health launches 2026 World Cancer Day commemoration. Ghanaian president arrives in Zambia. Government warns against fake SCT payments messages. In international news, Tanzanian drug trafficker arrested during raid in Zambia. In our sports news, Morocco to appeal CAF sensation over chaotic Afcon final. Thank you so much for watching. For more news updates, stay glued to our Facebook page, which is ICU TV, and our website icutvzm.com.